When it comes to the PS5 Pro, I have been on the front lines speculating just how well it will perform. Last December, I walked you guys through the leaked specs, highlighting the increases and how that translates into gameplay. After the official announcement in September, I showed you guys how the advertised improvements would manifest in actual gameplay. My goal on this channel is to show you guys the truth behind the hardware, not some fanboy overhyped version of what it could look like. Now that the hardware has finally landed, it's time to see how close I was to those predictions. I like to put my money where my mouth is, so I finally picked up the Pro. Over the past few weeks, I've been digging deep into a few different games, and I could probably go on for a few hours just talking about the platform. But today, I want to answer the question that's on everyone's mind. Is the PS5 Pro worth it? I'm not going to be getting too deep into the product description here. I've got some links down below where we've talked about it on the channel in the past, and there's plenty of other channels regurgitating the same talking points. So let's get straight into the device. The PlayStation 5 Pro has some really good improvements baked into it, but it also falls short in several regards, which leaves me scratching my bald head just a bit. So what makes the PS5 Pro so pro? The first thing that speaks to my soul is better support for variable refresh rate displays. The lower limit for VRR with the PlayStation 5 is 48 Hz or 48 FPS. So with the advertised improved performance, the Pro should have no problem maintaining that fluid experience, assuming all things are equal. Better VRR is an instant win for gamers who enjoy games like Call of Duty. I've been enjoying Black Ops 6 quite a bit, and comparing the PS5 and the Pro here, the Pro maintains 60 FPS in quality mode and will also go above 60 FPS in many games. There's a whole bunch of clips over on X and on YouTube. I'll be cycling them through here, but suffice it to say, there are a lot of games out there that have unlocked modes, and many of them run comfortably above 60 FPS on the Pro. But VRR doesn't only help high-octane gameplay, it can really improve stability in games that struggle. For example, Dragon's Dogma 2. In quality mode with ray tracing turned on, the base PlayStation 5 struggles to stay in the 40 FPS range while in the town, so VRR can't kick in here. However, for the Pro, the same circuit around town maintains that 40 FPS experience, so VRR will maintain a fluid visual experience, which any gamer can enjoy. But let's be real though, VRR might be out of reach for some console gamers. What's an improvement that all gamers can enjoy? Better visual quality settings, of course. The poster child for the improvements here is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've gone on the record claiming how bad the game looked on the base console, and Digital Foundry also agrees, confirming their upscaling technology wasn't that great. But with PSSR at the helm, the game is instantly cleaned up and looks finer than ever. I didn't even have to get out of the intro sequence to just see the night and day difference. It really is good. Even Stellar Blade sees a massive facelift with improved clarity and motion, among other scenarios. Where PSSR leads, better settings follow suit. F124 adds additional ray tracing effects, which really shows off on your car's reflections. Alan Wake 2 adds reflections as well to different surfaces, and it carries over the base console's quality mode into its new performance mode. Many other games replicate this same process, enhancing previous quality modes with improved frame rates thanks to the console's sheer brute force, and PSSR to pick up the slack. Speaking of games, though there isn't a launch title for the mid-gen refresh, the bench of PS5 Pro enhanced games is ready for action. As of the time of this recording, there are 73 games that are on the roster. Over half of the platform's most played games are covered. Sony also made sure to make their pillars like Spider-Man, Gran Turismo, God of War, and Horizon, they all have patches ready to roll. Couple that with Game Boost for unenhanced games, and of course enhanced quality for PS4 games, most gamers' libraries should encounter improvements across the board. However, make sure to check your game's patch notes to see if the patch is actually delivered. I did test a few different free-to-play games, and the enhancements just weren't available yet. So we got better games, better quality, better frame rate. This has got to be a slam dunk for the Pro console, right? Well, that's where the facade starts to crack, and the console becomes not so pro. In both Digital Foundry and my own analysis, the PS5 Pro still struggles to live up to its hype, either in performance, quality, or lackluster improvements. This could be teething issues for the recent console release, but several games are less than impressive from the get-go. Alan Wake showcases issues with both performance and quality, and the much-anticipated RT mode, Reflections are front and center for the marketing department. Still, the settings are below the PC's lowest setting. Not only that, but PSSR is showing significant issues when it comes to fizzle and stability, courtesy of Digital Foundry's Alex Battaglia. Even in performance mode, the console has to use an internal resolution of 864p to maintain a 60 FPS target. Even then, the console dips into the upper 40s and the lower 50s on many occasions, which is less professional than I would like to play. Silent Hill 2 is another instance where the latest updates actually looked worse than the base PS5 version. Fortunately, the devs are actively trying to fix this, but this shows that the Pro's upgrade path wasn't as smooth as the devs would hope. As Todd Howard likes to say, it just works. The last example from DF is going to be Jedi Survivor, debatably one of the worst PC ports released this gen, and given its rocky launch last year, the Pro still can't manage to hit decent performance. Resolutions are low, frame rates are not stable, and for a PS5 Pro enhanced game, that's just not going to cut it. Now, I mentioned Dragon's Dogma was an excellent example of an improvement for the Pro. However, on the flip side, the console still can't hit 60 FPS as advertised. Throughout the city, we're just not able to hit our Pro frame rates, thanks in part to the CPU limitations of the console. If 60 FPS is mandatory, sure, the Pro can get you there in performance mode, but so does the base PS5. CPU limits are also consistent with Baldur's Gate 3, where the Pro's raw GPU prowess can't come to muster while being pulled down by its albatross of a CPU. So sure, these examples are on a case-by-case basis, and devs can always choose to improve their software if they like. But there are a lot of already good PS5 games out there that run just fine at 60 FPS with good quality settings, and the additional improvements just aren't all that impactful. Ratchet & Clank comes to mind. One of the flagship games for SSD performance and a pioneer in the use of performance RT modes, the game looks shockingly similar to the base experience. Sure, PSSR cleans up some of the issues with clarity, and the improved RT is there, but at some point, can you really see it in actual gameplay? Both DF and myself noticed that the base game is over sharp to begin with, so is the PS5 Pro improvement really necessary? The same goes for F124. Yes, we get better quality settings. Yes, we get an almost full suite of ray tracing. But zooming in around Monaco, is it that much different than the base experience? Even if it's not, can you notice the improved ground cover while racing down the tarmac? Me neither. I'm too busy just trying to follow my racing lines. Now, I'll admit I don't have a burgeoning PlayStation library, and I'm almost 1K in the red here for this video, so let's get to brass tacks. Is the PS5 Pro worth it?
All rise. Judge Turk is now presiding.
Okay, if we look at the Pro from the best possible angle, I see three scenarios where it would be worth it. If you're an enthusiast gamer and you already have an excellent 4K VRR monitor or TV, by all means, knock yourself out. The Pro is the best console on the market. To say otherwise is just lunacy. Even I can admit that. If you love watching Digital Foundry videos and you take the time to enjoy the art and immerse yourself in the fidelity of a game, the Pro is the best console to deliver that experience. Higher resolutions, better settings, and PSSR all combine to clean up and deliver the best console experience that you can buy. Even if we look at it from an investment perspective, kind of like how a PC GPU purchase would go, these improvements can be a decent bargain too. Sure, the Pro is more expensive, but the improvements can scale well. In Black Ops 6, the standard PS5 dips to 45 FPS in some spots, while the Pro maintains a solid 60, so that stability is only 17% more when it comes to frames per dollar. In Dragon's Dogma 2, the base PS5 can hit 38 FPS, while the Pro can maintain 52, so the frames per dollar is only 14% more. Now, let's look at the not-so-hot side of things. If you're a gamer stuck on your 2018 4K 60 FPS TV, the Pro is going to be overkill. In scenarios where the Pro can come ahead, your screen will hold back your experience. Not only that, but in games that are already struggling, they still struggle with the Pro console in most cases. Though instances might be more rare, some games just won't reach the full potential and they'll cap out on your 60Hz TV, which ultimately seems like a waste of potential. What about if you're already a fan of Sony's first-party games that already look really good and are well optimized? Well, they'll still look really good, but you'll have to zoom in to observe some of the details. Depending on the size of your screen, be prepared to scooch up a few more feet to fully experience the differences that you would see in a Digital Foundry video. These deficiencies all boil down to the worst aspect of the console, and that is value. If the games you play already hit 60 FPS, well, you're going to be paying about 56% more per frame for those quality improvements, which, at least to me, is just way too expensive.
All rise. Time for the verdict.
Long story short, guys, the PlayStation 5 Pro is for professionals. If you enjoy the extra resolution and quality settings, the Pro is the best console on the market. Bragging rights are a plus too if you're into that sort of thing. Alternatively, the better deal is for people that are not in the 9th gen of consoles. If you've been holding out for a new console from like a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, bumping up to the Pro will get you the best experience. And given we're 4 years into the generation, the Pro will unlock at least another 4 years of runtime before your next upgrade. That does assume that cross-gen support is baked into the 10th gen of consoles. However, if you're not an over-enthused enthusiast, the improvements might not be worth the squeeze. Upgrading from a PS5 to the Pro seems like a lot of hassle for a modest 20 to 40% better performance. Also, in most instances, the improvements there will be challenging to see. If you're a more casual gamer, the base console is still good enough across the board. Tie that in with Black Friday coming up, some console bundles will probably be available for the more mainstream gamer. Now, word on the street is the PS5 Digital Edition is going to be on sale for $375 on Black Friday.
Objection!
There's another use case, the PC. But we'll hold that debate for next week. Take care.